If you're not able to maintain purity, then you have to check your love level with God.
That is an excellent, excellent answer.
He says, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. He doesn't say if you go to church or if you read the word. He says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments.
What a great, you know, I've been doing the 10 Commandments with whatever I do. Mm-hmm. Does this line up with the 10 Commandments? A movie I'm going to watch. Is there something in there that's in the 10 Commandments I shouldn't be watching?
Right.
Isn't that?
Then you're not watching TV then,
There's hardly anything to see.
All you can do is watch the Food Channel.
You about got that right.
Uh-huh.
But that's just happened to me in the last few months.
Yeah.
It's just really been a thing. I so want to please God that I don't want to do whatever. Why would I sit and watch an adulterous affair in a bedroom when he says thou shalt not commit adultery?
Exactly.
I am feeding myself with the garbage.
That's right. Job said, I will set no evil thing before my eyes. And I always tease the ladies when I'm doing women's conferences and say, how can you watch Desperate Housewives and not become desperate?
Yeah.
You know, and my cousin loves Weeds, where the woman is selling drugs to the kids at school. And I said, she says, it's a very funny show. I said, there's nothing funny about selling drugs to kids. You know, or whatever the premise of it is. It's something like that. But I thought, I can't be amused by that. So I'm actually where you are. I'm kind of relegated to the Food Network and decorating houses and Project Runway. Well, that's it for me.
And my husband gets pretty upset by house makeover things because I said, well, we could do this or we could do this.
It is quite obsessive.
Just turn it off.
It's addictive. Yeah, but it's fun to watch makeovers, and maybe we like seeing renovation because it gives us hope for our own lives that we can be made over.
Yeah, we can. And some of us really need it, and others like you are doing so well. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, she's not just an author, but she lives what she teaches.
But you know, that comes through struggle. I think that if you don't allow yourself or allow God to finish what he's begun in you, if you shirk away from the process of what he's trying to complete in you, then you can't live authentically. And it's really important to me, if I'm going to represent him, to live authentically and to be transparent.
Before we go out of this segment, you're trying to be the host for Oprah?
Yes, I want everybody to vote. We've got a couple days left.
So they've got to vote for you.
They have to vote for me.
And
well, they don't have to, but I'd really like to.
But you know what I think is when people of God get on these big channels, they can be such a witness for Jesus.
That's true.
And that's so important, because I'll talk about that when we come back. Don't you go away. We're going to be right back with a whole lot more.
Singles advocate and best-selling author Michelle McKinney Hammond knows what it means to be single and is passing on what she has learned in her exciting new devotional, Single-Minded Devotion. This powerful book will encourage singles to enjoy this time in their lives and draw closer in their walk with God. Discover the benefits and joys of single life. Find solutions to issues you face as a single and uncover what God may be doing in this season of your life. Today is your day to answer the call of God on your life and experience great joy as you live purposely and passionately while on the single journey. Single-Minded Devotion is available today for this buy-the-book offer of $13.99. Simply call 888-725-8033 or log on to our website, buythebook.tv. Request offer number 236. That's 888-725-8033 or go to buythebook.tv. Request offer number 236. If you would like to receive your copy of today's edition of Buy the Book, please be sure to call 888-725-8033 and ask for today's offer number on the screen. DVDs are $14.95 plus shipping and handling and come with 4 total episodes per DVD. Order your DVD of Buy the Book today and call 888-725-8033.
Welcome back to Buy the Book, and we've been talking with Michelle McKinney Hammond, and she has been a great author over many years. She's done one that is called Single-Minded Devotion, and this is not just for single-minded people, but it's really for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be single-mindedly devoted to God. You know, we have to have a focus and a reason for why we live and why we make the choices that we do. And if He is our utmost goal, then everything, every decision, every conversation, and every action will be lined up under that focus. So that's really why we've got to have a single eye. He says He will guide us with His eye.
You can tell you're full of the Word.
I love the Word. It's juicy.
It's juicy. Song of Solomon,
juicy,
especially
yes.
Song of
Oh,
Solomon.
yes.
You wonder how that ever got in there, huh? It says uncovering true relationship. Now that's a devotion.
Yes, yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, it's really getting to the core of what true relationship looks like. There's a transparency there. There's a willing to receive as well as give. And when we talk about having a relationship with God, it's really important to understand that it is a relationship, that it is not a religion. We're not, you know, talking at God. We're not loving Him conditionally as long as He does what we want Him to do. It's about going through the hard places with Him and letting Him know how your heart hurts in the middle of the night and awaiting His response, awaiting His direction. I've been really meditating in James where it says, think it not strange when you fall into diverse trials. You know, count it all joy, you know, knowing that the trying of your faith works patience. You know, in another place.
Do you like what the rest says?
Yes.
And when patience
has had its perfect work and is complete in you, then you're mature and not lacking anything. Depending on which translation you read, but that's the crux of it.
Don't you like that?
Yes, and then you know what I like? We were studying this in Bible study, and I had to teach that first chapter. And I used to think that first chapter just went all over the place. I'm like, James was schizophrenic when he wrote this chapter. He jumps from trials to talking about folk to the rich and the poor, and if you don't know anything, ask God. But then the more I studied it, the more I saw that it was tied together. Because then he says after the trials, if you lack wisdom, ask God. He's not going to fuss at you. He'll give you the wisdom to make it through the trial.
Yes. And don't
How do you like that?
And don't let a man ask.
Yep, and not expecting. Exactly. And why? Because without faith, it is impossible to please God. Well, what pleases God? Obedience.
Yes.
So if we don't believe that God will meet us on the other side of His word or His promises, we won't do what He said, and that doesn't please Him very much at all, and it devastates our lives. Then He goes on to tell you to watch your mouth. And I thought, that's interesting. It's true. When we get in trouble or we're going through trials, we have a tendency to what? Blah, 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 blah. We complain. God doesn't care about me, and we just blow it up all out of perspective. And He's saying, watch the mouth. Watch what you're talking about, because you're setting on fire the course of your life with the things that you say. Because once those words come out of your mouth, you act on them.
Yeah. And
they reveal what's in our hearts.
And they also turn, just like they turn the ship.
Exactly.
Your tongue can turn the direction of your life.
Exactly.
So we've got to be guarded at what we say. Well, let's pick another one here. Single or single again? That's a hard place, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I wanted to address people who are single again, because some people have just never been married, but some have been married and had tragedies, or they're divorced, or their husband has died or left, or they had to leave. And there's an adjustment that has to be made in those times. And that person needs to know that they're not forsaken by God, and that every disappointment is a invitation and an opportunity to get it right the next time.
So here's another one, liberty in Christ.
Well, there is a freedom there, and I think that sometimes we see the list of rules, if we perceive them that way, and think that they're quite constricting, but actually they lead to life. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking about it the other day because I was watching a show, and the host was insisting that something they were discussing was not sin. She goes, well, it's not a sin, it's not a sin. And I thought, well, it clearly says in the Bible that it's a sin. But then I started thinking about, what is sin? What is it really? And I thought about it, and I said, you know, sin is anything that hurts a creation of God. Because everything that God calls sin is something that hurts either us or someone else.
Yeah.